The White House changes come as Republicans try to iron out a possible repeal bill to the Affordable Care Act, but that continues to be mired in delays. For more on where things stand, we turn to CBS News political director Steve Chaggaris. Steve, good morning.
Morning.
What exactly are the Republicans going to be voting on?
That's a very good question.
Do they even know?
They don't know. And Senate Republicans were running around Capitol Hill this week trying to figure that out. There are a couple of choices that Mitch McConnell has laid out. There's one choice, which is a repeal and replace bill, which doesn't have enough support to get it to the floor for a vote. And then he said, well, if we can't do that, then maybe we'll vote on just a repeal bill, something that the Senate passed in 2015. Right. But again, that is now running into resistance from Senate Republicans.
Why are they having so many problems right now?
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. One, first of all, is the tide has turned on polling. If you look at the last 7 years of polling on Obamacare, Americans they disapproved of Obamacare until President Trump became president. And then all of a sudden the polls changed.
When it might be taken away.
Well, that's right. And so now these Republicans go home during their breaks and they listen to their constituents, and people aren't happy about the idea of Obamacare going away. And so they're hearing it from them, and they're getting cold feet now.
Did Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, I mean, he's got a lot of experience in handling these things, but do you think he miscalculated the differences within his own party here?
Well, if he did, he shouldn't have, because we have known for years of all the times that Republicans have voted to repeal Obamacare, they have never been able to agree on the replacement, right? And so that's where they find themselves. We saw the House wrestling with this earlier this year, and now we see the Senate, so it shouldn't have been a surprise to him.
It got almost more difficult. The Senate parliamentarian said the Byrd rule has been violated with some of the provisions. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so the bill that is the repeal and replace bill,
right.
It was looked at by the Senate parliamentarian, and there are provisions in there that they say need 60 votes. They've been trying to get this repeal and replace bill through with 51 votes. They haven't even been able to do that, right? Yeah. They can't even get 51 votes. There are provisions in there, some pretty key provisions in there that would need 60 votes. The parliamentarian says they ruled on that yesterday, okay? So the senators who were trying to figure out what's going on moving forward are now discovering that a good chunk of this bill, one of the bills they're considering, is probably not ever going to be voted on.
And some of those things that has to do with Planned Parenthood. A lot of those things that have been under attack.
Planned Parenthood, Medicaid, right?
Yeah.
So you take it out, and then it's a completely different bill than what they've already been debating. So Democrats
have had a united front against the repeal of Obamacare. Obviously, there's been some talk of actually trying to work with Democrats. Is that real?
I know people are talking about it. I just don't see where it happens. I don't see where Republicans come to the table with Democrats and say, sure, we're going to sit down with you because it's in our political interest to sit down with you. I think it's in their political interest to not. Their voters, their base says repeal Obamacare. Sitting down with Democrats does not get there.
You talk about that base. This is what they campaigned upon, what the president campaigned upon. So if nothing gets passed, A, what's the impact in future elections, but where do they go?
That's a very good question. And so conservatives and conservative groups will be very upset if they don't repeal Obamacare. And so this could be a problem for those who are running for re-election next year. They may find themselves running in primaries against other Republicans, more conservative Republicans, saying, you did not keep your promise to repeal Obamacare.
All right. Steve Chaggaris, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks.